Welcome to this New Year video, Saggitarius people. Here I am talking about the New Year 2024. As I had promised in my sneak peek video that I'll be coming with the long length video of the full description of the year 2024. Now here I'll be talking about your four areas: the professional front, the family and the profession, the wealth front, the family and relationship, and lastly your travel and the health. So let us begin with the main planets, the bigger planets, the outer planets. As you know that Jupiter, your Lagna Lord, is had been retrograde for a very long time now, and ultimately by the 1st of January it will begin its direct motion in the sign of Aries, that is your fifth house. Usually the transit of fifth house Jupiter is really good, but as you know, in whole of 2023 Jupiter suffered Guru Chandal yoga problem, and later it got retrograde. It was unable totally to give its result. Better result we expect from 1st of January, starting from Ashwini Nakshatra. Now Saturn is in your third house and it will continue to transit your third house whole of 2024, which is a good house for Saturn, no doubt about it. Saturn makes you put efforts into the things in the third house, and so that you create a new work front environment, new project, a new you. Basically Saturn makes you put lot of efforts, lot of decision making in that area. It is a good position of Saturn in 2024 also. Rahu Ketu position is challenging, no doubt. Rahu being in the 4th, Ketu in the 10th. This axis, whenever Rahu Ketu, as we all know, is in the 4th 10, in the 2nd 8th axis, it is a challenge, because these are especially Rahu being in the 4th house can create some issues in your family front, and Ketu being in the 10th in your professional front. But it will continue to remain there in Revati and then in Uttara Bhadrapada, because Rahu is moving backwards. It is Saturn's nakshatra. It will remain there in the 4th house and till 18 months, because it will remain there till the end of April 2025. And Ketu remains in Chitra, and then it will go to Hasta backwards in your 10th house. So these are the main planets. Now I always give stress to the transit of Mars. The smaller planets, as Sun, you always know, it makes its transit every 1 month, it changes its sign. But Mars, apart from Sun, Moon is 2.5 days. So Mars, Venus, Mercury are the 3 smaller planets we talk about most, but Mars is the most important among them. Being your good planet, the lord of the 5th and the 12th house, Mars will begin its journey from your Lagna. In January month, it will be on your Lagna conjunct with Venus, Mercury in Saggitarius, and then it will go to the 2nd house, get conjunction with Saturn. With Venus it will go into the 2nd house, same conjunction continues, Mars Venus. Then Mars goes into Aquarius and gets a conjunction with Saturn, and then it goes to your Pisces house by the middle of April and get conjunction with Rahu till the end of May. Then Mars from your 5th house begins a new journey of Aries and its own journey of a new cycle, as Aries is always the beginning of a new cycle, and it begins the cycle from there and continues to Taurus, Gemini, and ends by the end of the year. It will come into Cancer, your 8th house. So the most of the transits of Mars will be good for you, other than I feel the 4th house and the 8th house will create some issues at that point of time, that 1.5 month. So here we'll talk a little bit what is happening according to your profession, health, travel, all these things. Now Venus and Mercury will have a normal transit, nothing much to immediately talk about. Those transit I can talk in the later transit videos. And Mercury will obviously get retrograde 3 times in the year, like 20 days, 21 days it will get retrograde. And Jupiter and Saturn will also retrograde. Jupiter will change its sign in the middle of the year, as in the month of May 1st it will go into Taurus, your 6th house, and it will get retrograde. It'll go direct. See, it is going direct whole throughout the year till the middle of October. It will get retrograde, and it will remain retrograde till 4th of February. 119 days of Jupiter retrograde in your 6th house. And Saturn goes as usual retrograde from 30th June to 15th November. Nearly that is the time where Saturn goes retrograde. 139 days of retrogression for Saturn. So this is the more or less the whole scenario of the main planets that I'm going to talk about. Now let's start with your professional front. Profession, whenever we are talking about, we look into the 6th and the 10th house. Now 6th house is having Jupiter transit by May 1st. This is a very good transit. Actually, Jupiter will start its journey from your 5th house in the sign of Ashwin. So Ashwin Nakshatra is the beginning of anything, is the ushering of a new process. It will start from there. 1st May it will go into your 6th house. This should be a good transit actually for you, because Jupiter in the Artha Trikon will be aspecting your 2nd house and your also your 10th house. Now because Ketu is posited in the 10th house, this aspect of Jupiter I feel will do some betterment to the agenda of Ketu in the 10th house. Because see, every planet when they're transiting at a certain point in a certain house, some kind of result regarding that house, whether you're running a Dasha, Mahadasha, irrespective of that, 18 months a planet transiting in certain house will create some environmental change, some turbulence, some good things, some sudden things, some whatever it will create. This aspect of Jupiter on the Ketu can become a little, a betterment of the results, the sudden results that Ketu is known for. What happens, you see, profession, obviously it goes for a change, if not professionally total change, some kind of change in place, some kind of change in position may be desired, mostly maybe not desired also, because Ketu gives very sudden changes. And Virgo, because your Mercury is Kendra Lord, 7th and your 10th Lord. Virgo or the 10th house is not a very favorite place for Ketu. Though Ketu gives good results in Upachya houses, no doubt it is good, not bad. No way it is bad, I'm not saying that. But here the energy of Rahu is better than Ketu. So having said that, since it is the transit of Ketu in the 10th and Jupiter aspecting it, definitely you can expect some kind of change in the 10th area. But 6th area is looked after by Jupiter. Your daily job is looked after by Jupiter. I feel it should not be too much disbalancing for you. It should be okay. Whatever changes, if Ketu brings some sudden rejection, some sudden promotion, some boss changes, some here and there, or you have to quit the job, you get a new kind of position, so many scenarios Ketu can bring, very sudden changes Ketu can bring, some sudden omission of things from your work environment. You can also do it yourself. You may feel you are doing some unwanted things in the 10th house, you cut it short. That can also Ketu do, and by the grace of Jupiter I think it should be better. So this is your professional front. I'm happy that Jupiter is in the 6th house for this year. What I mean to say is that though Ketu is in the 10th, it's result of far more the cruel results, that Ketu sudden results, which we are difficult to come into terms with, because profession is very important part of our daily existence. Jupiter will trim it down. This is what I feel. So it's not a bad front. Keep your feet grounded and keep on working. Jupiter will bless you for the year in the 6th house, in your daily job area. Now comes your monetary part. Now see, money, when we are seeing, we see the 2nd house, the 11th house and the 8th house. These are the three, mainly the three money areas we are talking about. Now the 2nd house is the Capricorn house. Saturn is not in the 2nd house anymore and it is traveling in the 3rd house. Here the problem is that the 2nd lord, when it is traveling in the 3rd, you can incur into some expenditures. Expenditures maybe due to traveling, maybe you do not want to make them, because Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu, 3 are aspecting your 12th house Scorpio also. So this is the area as we talk about the income, the 11th house, because Venus will be in dignity. Jupiter is in the 6th aspecting your 2nd, that is also good. Venus transit is not bad throughout the year, your 11th lord, and Jupiter is in a Venusian sign in Taurus. But your 12th house is getting a lot of aspects with very important long transiting planets. So here some kind of excess expenditure can incur in the year of 2024. When we speak in the yearly horoscope, what we try to bring out is the main areas which can be a cause of not concern exactly, which needs a little more attention. So this 12th house needs little more attention in your case. If you want to migrate to distant places, traveling, migration, that can be good, because see, sun, your sun house, that is your Leo house, is in the 9th house. So Jupiter and Saturn is aspecting your Leo house for the first 4 months till April end. From May 1st, it is aspecting your 12th house. So pilgrimage, long distance travel can be good for the 9th and 12th, but always remember, we know that 12th house is also isolation, is also hospitalization, and is also expenditure, philanthropy. These things can also be a part of the whole year that we are looking towards. So here this is what I wanted to say regarding your income generation. Your income lord Saturn is in the 3rd, your accumulation lord, the 2nd house. Jupiter is the natural karaka of finances or whatever. We see that, we always see Jupiter, and it's your Lagna lord in the 6th. So some opposition, some kind of thing you can feel, and also because when it comes to family, because family houses are like the 4th, the 2nd and the 7th. Especially the 4th house is having a bad presence of Rahu over there. Rahu, as we all know, never does very good with the 4th house energies. 4th house is a very soft place, it's a nurturing place, it's a very emotional place, and the sign is also Pisces. Rahu over here creates lot of turbulences. And turbulences with what? With your emotions. You can feel your family members are not understanding your problem, and you're failing somewhere or the other to meet with their emotional and physical needs. You may do a lot because Saturn is in the 3rd, making you put lot of efforts. So with also expenses running high, it may so happen still they are not very satisfied with the treatment that you are giving them. This is the problem with Rahu being in the 4th. So do some job for Jupiter so that you get strength. And it is very important to make the Jupiter strengthened in your horoscope. Or also to deal with Rahu Ketu, you can do the puja of Ganesha also, you can do, and chant Ganesha mantra, that is also important, you can do that. And for your health also, because Lagna Lord is in the 6th, you can chant Hanuman Chalisa also, that will also really do good. But don't, one thing is that because Lagna Lord is transiting in the 6th house, don't take up too much loans. if you want to take a loan, if you want to buy something, because Rahu in the fourth will make you look out for, real estates, building houses, because you may feel the urge, because wherever Rahu goes, it puts a urge in that area. But be a little careful while taking loan, because Jupiter, wherever it goes, it inflates the area. We all know that. So Jupiter in your sixth house can also make you put on some weight on your body. That can also happen. Jupiter, as it will transiting your 6th, 7th, 8th, you can put on some weight. So keep a check on your eating habits and all these things. This is regarding your health. See, your health is having Jupiter in the 6th, and it is aspecting your 12th. Saturn is aspecting 12th. Rahu is aspecting 12th from the 4th. So there's a lot of spiritual upliftment that I'm seeing, because Scorpio is a sign of change. It is a big change, because Scorpio's agenda is to change the person from inside. Whichever planet aspects there, this is the reason they're aspecting there. Go in with the energy, go in for some deep meditation, for some lonely time this whole year. It will help you solve your own issues, because see, when the Lagna Lord is in the 6th, one issue is that when it is in the 5th, it is good in the first 4 months. In the 6th, you are more worrying about what? The daily jobs, because it's aspecting the money. It's putting Jupiter is having a Neech Drishti on your 2nd house, accumulation. You're worrying about that. All the planets are aspecting your 12th house. You're worrying about your resources also, your expenditures also. So instead of worrying, what I'm telling you is that because see, when the transits are all not very favorable to your side, what we need to do is that that year we should, little bit, if we live in isolation and contemplate the things what is happening around us, it will be better and more easier to handle that. So some health protection is needed in this year, so that you do not get into high level of expenditure. Now Mars, let me talk about a little bit. Mars is transiting in January on your Lagna. So Mars will be there till the first week, 10th of February, something like that. I'll tell the exact dates later when I talk about the transit. So Mars, Mercury, Venus will start its transit on your Lagna in the 1st house. This is a good energy. You can feel lot of energy with the transit or the influx of Venus and Mercury, and you can get some good profits also from this area. Some conflicts can also generate, because see, Mars and Venus is two very they always they have a planetary fight whenever they come with each other. But it's okay, the energy is good in the 1st house. When it comes to the 2nd house, Mars and Venus together will transit in your 2nd house. This is also good. Mars being a yoga karak planet for you, it will come into the 2nd, and Venus, your 11th lord, will come into the 2nd. This is a good formation. Some savings you will be able to do at this point of time, and you can feel a little bit better when Mars and Venus will be traveling in its exaltation. Mars in the 2nd house. 3rd house, when Mars goes into the 3rd house, it will be with Saturn. Now these two planets in the Upachya house is not bad, but it can be too much of energy. So Venus will also be there for some time with these two planets. So keep a watch on the energy. Don't fidget with things, because Mars and Saturn is that kind of energy. It's a fidgeting energy, I call it, because Mars is a hot planet and Saturn is a very cold planet. Mars wants to go, and Saturn is like, wait, I'll take my time and do full things in detail. So strike a balance at this point of time. But both the energy, Shani Mangal yoga in the 3rd, 6, 10, 11, I am not very concerned with this yoga, and it is for 1.5 month. So make full effort. You give full effort in those areas. Traveling can happen on all this. If you want to start a project, you need some initiation, this is the right time to do it. Now that's not bad. Only now the concern part begins when Mars comes into the 4th house. It is the original debilitated position of Mars. 4th Mars in Cancer is debilitated. Here the sign is Pisces, but it's a watery sign, and Rahu is already there. Here Pisces is not getting any good aspect from Jupiter or any other planet. So, some kind of spat at that point of time can happen. Family environment can really go haywire. And just remember, Rahu Mars being in the 10th, Mars is also aspecting the Ketu in the 10th house. So here both the areas, because Ketu Mars, when Mars is aspecting Ketu, comes some sudden changes can also happen in the 10th house. This transit you have to navigate very carefully, otherwise it will call in for long term problems happening, especially in your emotional field and also in your work field, where work can get neglected because too much energy in the 4th house. So this transit we'll talk in later. This transit is happening actually from mid of April to the end of May. This transit is happening. Then Mars comes into your 5th house, which is its own sign in Aries. It's a good new beginning for Mars. In your 5th house, your children can do well, because see, little bit issue with the children can happen as Jupiter is in the 6th. But they may fare well in competition. If you have big children, that can also happen. But still the children's because Jupiter is not very good in the 6th house, so it can take care of your daily work, but children related, because Karaka of Jupiter is Karaka of children, being in the 6th can give some issues. But Mars, when it will be in the 5th house, it will give a backup for that. Then Mars goes into the 6th. This is a good combination. If you are sitting for any competitive examination and all, this transit will be a good transit, Mars Jupiter in the 6th house. Or if you had been facing some kind of a health issue or all, you can deal with it. You can set up a new regime for your health and all this. Don't go into taking too much of loans again, and I am stressing that, because Jupiter is inflating the 6th house issues, and Mars coming into it with Jupiter may feel very happy. So be a little cautious of what you are doing with your 6th house things. Then Mars will go into Gemini, your 7th house. Partnership and all, Mars in Gemini, verbal spat and all these things. Mars energy is too much for the 7th house. But you can handle, I hope, this 1.5 month of Mars in Gemini. Then Mars goes into Cancer. Now here there is a big transformation waiting this year to happen, because Mars by November, December will be debilitated and retrograde in your 8th house. This is a very big transit. Mars will go back into Gemini in January 2025. Again it will come back to your 8th house. It's a very big transit of Mars debilitation and retrograde, and it's a very serious a little bit serious issue, in the sense whenever Cancer is falling in the, because it is a watery sign, and sudden emotional turbulences, some emotional setbacks, some emotional body healing needs to be required at this point of time. Very, very important. So total synopsis of the whole year is that keep faith in God. He is the Almighty. Do Hanuman Chalisa. Please read Hanuman Chalisa for your well-being, for your health. Pray to Lord Ganesha for Rahu Ketu in the axis 4th 10th. Stay in your belief system. This is a year to start initiation, work towards better things, start projects, go towards betterment of working with the projects, but also try to stay in isolation, because otherwise a lot of people around you may make you a little bit irritated with the kind of transits that I'm seeing for Sagittarius ascendants or moon sign. So let's see how this year pans out. Let me know as the year progresses. I'll be keeping on making transit videos and guiding you through the year. Hope you have a good year. To begin with, the Mars transit on the Lagna, 2nd house, 3rd house is good. Make the most of it. So thank you. Let me complete over here. Have a good day.